Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
One of my favorite groups is the animal welfare groups. Miss Shelley, how's it like in the animal welfare today, huh?
Very busy every day.
Well, let's talk about this. I know a lot of newcomers to the village don't even understand that we have it's not a dog pound, it's an animal welfare league, right? And that's
correct.
Basically down behind Balboa Dam, right?
It is, yes.
So
the
how does that
pound,
work? Yeah.
The dog pound term makes my hair stand up on the back of my neck.
And that's because the Animal Welfare League is so much more now. This is a non-kill shelter, right?
It is.
So a nonprofit 501c3.
Correct.
So tell me more about the shelter. Where is it located? What's it do? How's the POA? Does the POA own this? How does it work?
Okay, so the Animal Welfare League is located near Lake Balboa, behind the dam, as you said, on Cloaca Lane. The building is owned by the POA. Half of the building is Hot Springs Village Animal Control. The other half of the building is the Animal Welfare League. We are a private organization, but we do work in conjunction with Animal Control. We take all the animals that they take in, and we provide food, litter, medical care, and get them up for adoption. So they are adopted from the Animal Welfare League.
Okay. So, for example, somebody might the animal control would pick up an animal, contain it, make sure everything is good for a few days. Nobody comes and claims it, and then it may go over to the Animal Welfare League. Same building, just different side of the building, right? Yes.
We do work together, but we are separate entities.
Yeah, a very symbiotic relationship, to say the least, right?
For sure.
Well, yeah. I tell you what, let me go into, I hear tell we need some long-term homes for some puppies and kitties. Is that fair?
We do. We've had several. We've had a while.
Well, when we had the pandemic, people were like, "Oh, I've got more dogs and cats, and we can't get enough." And now we're short. What happened?
I think people were home. They wanted pets to help entertain them, to take care of. Then they went back to work, and they were busier. And I feel like, have not really felt the effects from that. I tried to take care of that on the front end by asking, what is your work schedule when it is not the pandemic, that kind of thing. But also, I think the economy is playing a part right now. So people are abandoning animals right and left, and also surrendering them.
Well, now, who do we have on the screen here, and how did he get here, or she?
Okay. This is Greg. Greg's about 15 months old. Greg was, we think, probably abandoned in the village with 5 additional dogs. There were a total of 6 that were found in a kind of a remote area where there are not many houses.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs, we don't know if they're all from the same litter, but he all have been adopted, but Greg and Carol.
Mm-hmm.
So Greg's about 53 pounds. He's now full grown. We got him as they were probably 7 or 8 months old when we got them. So we've had them several months, and they need a new home.
So you think somebody just dropped these off in the village, right?
I do, yes.
Isn't that illegal?
Based on where they were found, they were never claimed.
But I mean, you can't do that, right? I mean, that's against the law, right?
You know, it is against the law. Abandonment of an animal is against Arkansas state law.
Really?
If you are caught, there is a penalty for that.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm glad to know that. And once again, I'm going to refer back here in just a moment here, but these animals can be seen at the Animal Welfare League, and the adoption center is open Monday to Saturday, 12 to 3. Is that right?
To 3. Correct.
Okay.
That's right.
And let me hop back
Greg,
over.
So is there now,
pup.
but
Huh?
Yeah.
But Greg's there now, but I'm sorry.
He is. He is. He is there now, but he will be going he was in a foster home, who has done a beautiful job with Greg, getting him used to living in a home. She had to go back to Poland for a month. So she is coming back and will be picking Greg up on Monday morning, but he is available for adoption.
So these dogs have learned how to be inside. These are the ones that have been fostered for a while, right?
Absolutely. Pinch is another one in a foster home, and he's a little guy. He's only about 12 pounds, but he is full of energy. So someone's going to need to provide an outlet for that.
Would this be a family dog or a outdoor indoor dog?
These really are all dogs to live inside with their families, but enjoy outside time as well.
Yeah. Okay. Pincher's cute as he can be.
I
thought Carol was gorgeous. What a beautiful little dog. Kind of a hound mix, I guess.
Yes. And she came with Greg and the group of 6. Carol has been very shy. She is also now in a foster home who's done a great job of trying to work with her and get her out of that. Mm-hmm. She's a beautiful dog.
So
beautiful dog.
When you say skittish or leery, Dr. Bob reminds me that skittish dogs live longer than brave, stupid dogs. You know, that there's a point to that.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he makes
but I can see that they're self-protecting.
Yeah, sure. Well, that was Scraps too.
Gosh, yes.
Oh yeah, but for Carol, so a quiet environment, not a lot of loud noises, no screaming kids running around or whatever. She would probably thrive in that, right?
She would. Definitely needs to live on a street that is not busy, so she doesn't get spooked by outside noises. That did happen with someone that took her home to adopt her, but they lived on a very busy highway, and she was afraid to go outside. So a quiet area.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. We all have our little quirks, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then we have the beautiful Dottie.
Oh, Dottie. We've had Dottie for about 11 months.
Oh, mercy. Isn't that rare to have one that long?
Yes, we have one other one. We've had a little longer, but Dottie is also in a foster home. They describe her as perfection. She's great in every way. She's crate trained, house trained. She really would do best as an only dog at first. She went to a board and train, so she's a very highly trained dog.
Really?
Knows her house manners. Yes, she's a wonderful dog. She really needs a fenced in yard. Her foster mom right now, they walk her a lot, like miles a day. But she could really use some off leash play area.
Now, how old is she?
She's about 2.5.
Okay. And is this a mid-sized dog, large dog, small dog? What do you think?
She's 55 pounds.
Mhm.
Actually, she's about 3 years old now.
Okay. But about 55 pounds. So on
Yes,
the larger end of a medium-sized dog.
correct.
Is that fair?
Yes.
And wonderful manners, huh? What a sweetie. She looks
Yes,
beautiful.
excellent house manners. She just likes to be with the person.
That's so sweet. I think some days, and I know that you know this more than I because of the people and the instances you see, sometimes I don't know that we deserve the pets we get. Is that fair?
I think that's absolutely true. They're so forgiving, and no matter what goes on with them, they're happy to live in the now and move on
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy their life with you. But they really, I have to agree with that statement for sure.
We could probably learn some things from them. How about that?
Yes, absolutely.
And Gatsby. Now, you mentioned we had talked a little bit about before we hit the record button. You have an abundance of cats at this time. What's going on with that?
I was told by our cat coordinator that we have taken in more cats this year than we have since 2017.
So
And we still have a few more
really?
months. Yeah. So
Lordy.
excessive number of kittens.
Man. So another great reason to remind people to get your pets spayed and neutered, which is how they come from the fine folks at the Animal Welfare League. But Gatsby here, do you have a story on her?
Oh,
And
Gatsby, I don't know her story. She was an owner surrender because she did not get along with the other cat in the home. It could very well have been the other cat in the home, not Gatsby.
Yeah.
Gatsby's about 8 years old, so a great, calm cat, for a calm home.
Yeah, beautiful cat.
Beautiful.
Oh, we skipped one here for the puppies. I'm sorry. Who's this?
Oh, that's our little Jesse. Jesse has he likes to pick his friends. He doesn't love everyone, but I do believe that he will, if someone is patient with him, if they take him home and just give him a chance and let him call the shots and get used to you, I think he's a very loyal little guy. So if he likes you, he loves you big time. And I think he will be fine in a home with someone that is patient and gives him time to trust you. It's about trust.
Was he a surrender dog or what? So he
was a surrender dog. He was adopted by a family here in the village from a humane society in Northwest Arkansas. He came from a home that burned, and there were lots of dogs in that home, and that's where he came from originally. So something went on there that has made him develop some trust issues, but he is precious, lovable, sweet. He just needs an owner that's patient at first. He he wants to be the only dog. He wants to get all the attention.
Sure.
He doesn't want to share. But I think for someone that's home a lot, he will be the center of your world, and you will be the center of his world.
Yeah, I can see that. And
he's precious. He's about 10 pounds. He's a little guy, about 5 to 7 years old.
Did you say he was a Chiweenie or what?
He's a Chihuahua.
He's a Chihuahua. And I know from my experience, like I know a lot about dogs, but the Chihuahua, that breed, typically they do kind of like to be the center of your world. I mean, they do. They don't share well. They don't share well.
They're big dogs in little bodies.
And Sparky, who looks like Dobby from Harry Potter to me with the little ears hanging down like this. Sparky is so cute. Now, how old's he?
Sparky is 15. He was surrendered by his owner when she went on an extended trip, and she took the other dog and gave us Sparky. He did have a number of health issues. He had not had all the vet care he needed. Now he has, and he's got quite a bit of pep in his step. I don't think he hears much, but he sees okay and loves to be outside. Loves kids, loves cats, other dogs. He's just fine everywhere. He's in a foster home with a child and does great. Great. He's a little guy too.
Yeah, he's a little guy in a big body, or a big
Yeah,
guy in a little body.
except he doesn't quite have the attitude that Jesse has.
You sent a video, and I don't know if we'll be able to use this, but we did see Sparky running around and just having a great
Yeah.
time. You bring up a good point now. 15. Now I had Cisco who lived to 17, but older dogs, they have more expenses. You'd mentioned a Silver Paws program. What is that?
Yes. Sparky qualifies for our Silver Paws Fund. And what that is it's a reimbursement program for people that need help, that maybe want to adopt, maybe they're older and they want to adopt an older dog or a senior dog, or maybe they just want to adopt. I adopt a lot of senior dogs. In fact, I've got one now that's like 20 that I adopted in March.
Wow.
Anyway, Sparky qualifies for that because of his age. And what it is it helps reimburse medical expenses for to encourage adoption of older dogs.
That's obviously somebody saw a great need there that made a lot of sense. And
Yes.
I think the part that I pick up on, at least in the village, I had someone disparaging, or I don't even know what disparagingly is the word, but we heard an ambulance go by, and one of my friends said, "Oh, there's another estate sale." And on one hand we kind of chuckle, on the other hand, in the village, because there's such an older population with older pets, sometimes when they do have to go to the nursing home or whatever, and they have to surrender their pet's not 3 years old and sparky and running around and full of life, reaching the end of its life too, right?
Correct. That's what happened with the one I adopted in March. Her owner passed away. Wow. And she had been with her since she was 4 months old. And so I took her because I wanted to give her the best life like she had previously had. She was very loved. Sparky, yes, he could have several years left. We just don't. He's doing very well. He's on some medications that are covered by the Silver Paws Fund, that have really improved the quality of his life as opposed to when he came to us.
Oh yeah, the video you sent, he looked like a super happy pup.
He's a great little dog.
Let me drop just for a second here. Let me stop the share here. Well, I think we got kitty cats. I'm sorry. And this is Carlos.
Carlos, a beautiful silver tabby. He is about 3.5 months old, so he's a kitten.
Yeah.
So he's adorable.
Beautiful.
Lots of kittens right now.
Oh yeah. Then we have Teresa, which I think is just the quintessential beautiful cat.
Yes, she's gorgeous. Now, Teresa was part of a litter of kittens that were abandoned in a church parking lot. They were abandoned, but what we are thinking is that possibly they did it in a church parking lot in hopes that they would find good people to take care of them. Somebody found them and brought them to Animal Welfare League or to Animal Control.
Yeah.
And then they came to Animal Welfare League. Now, all of these animals, every animal we have is spayed or neutered. Mm-hmm. Dogs are heartworm tested. Cats are tested for feline leukemia, FIV.
Yeah.
Everybody has had all of their shots, so they are fully ready for adoption.
No, you're not talking about the staff. You're just talking about the dogs and cats that have had their shots. The staff haven't always been vaccinated.
Correct.
Yeah, they could, but luckily the staff doesn't bite, from what I hear tell. So we're good there.
Well, we might have. Sometimes I do, but.
Well, it's only if people come between you and the pet, and I know how it is. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me. I've got another share here, real quick. Let me come back over here, real quick. And thanks again for joining us this morning. I've always wanted to have you guys on for a very long time, and just simply hadn't done it.
Well, I'm glad it's worked out.
A picture of the Adoption Control Center that we have here. And
that is taken at the corner of Cloaca Lane, where you turn. That's the sign I always tell people about. Look for the sign that says Animal Control and Adoption Center. Those are many of our wonderful volunteers, which, by the way, we badly need more volunteers in all areas.
You hit the nail on the head.
2 hours a week.
How many hours?
You can depending on, there are many ways to volunteer with us.
Right.
It can be as little as once a month. It can be, we've got people that come several times a week. It's very flexible. When you need to travel or if you're sick or whatever, that's flexible. But we really need help right now in many different capacities.
Well, let me come back to that just for a minute. Number one, 501c3, no kill shelter since 2013. Excuse me. You have a gala. We're going to look at the gala in a moment. But, on one hand, you can have people. Did you say y'all take memberships? Is that how you do that?
Absolutely. A big source of our funding is memberships. Annually, $25 for an individual, $35 for a family. You do receive our rescue report, which comes out every other month. You will know everything going on within our organization. We post happy tale stories. It comes mostly by email. It's just a great way to help us out and stay connected to our organization and know what's going on.
Well, and let me cut back to the chase here. I think, number one, every time I walk in the door, there are wonderful, sweet people, happy to see me, greeting. And you know what? They don't get paid for that. They walk in the door and volunteer just like you. And thank you for your contributions.
Oh, it's my passion.
Well, I can tell. And you do it great. As a matter of fact, it's funny you should say that. Let's see. There we go. If I hit the adopt button, let's see, what exactly do you do? Let's see, if you roll down here just a minute. You adopt dogs to podcast host people. Yeah, apparently that's what you do.
Absolutely.
What is that? Has that been 6 years?
I was going to say it's been a few years.
Yeah.
It's been a few years. Yes. Yeah, and that's Mr. Scraps, who was a stray running around Highway 7 for about 3.5 years. He did come into the village, and our animal control officer at the time managed to capture him after 3.5 years. He came inside the West Gate where she was able to contain him. He fortunately dodged the bullet of the traffic because he did lots of roaming around, and was adopted by you.
Well, only thanks to you. I'm sorry.
I did put you through the ringer a little bit.
You did put me through the ringer, but you know what? I deserved it because this is a pretty special dog, and you were being very, very cautious. And you can be as cautious as you want, but until Diane walks in and Scraps acts like he's never, oh my God, it's Mom, oh my God. And anyway, that's a story in and to itself. The bottom line is that Shelley was very dubious, and understandably so. Can you take care of this dog? He not special needs, but he's been wild. He literally was wild. And Diane put him on a leash and walked him around that inside little park like he had been there his whole life. He picked his person. Is that fair?
He truly, truly did. He is a prime example. I think he was ready for a family. He'd been on his own for 3.5 years. No one had touched him in 3.5 years. People that were feeding him daily were not able to touch him. Yeah. And I assumed it would be months and months before he would be anywhere near ready for adoption. He was kind of feral. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I remember you came every day and got to know him. Then you put him in your car, and then you took him for a ride, and then Diana came, and it really was a miracle. It was. And I believe he knew that this was the person he was supposed to be with.
Well, and I tell the story to all of our guests that come in because Scraps has to greet them when our guests come. And so I tell the story that we went and sat outside the Home Plate Cafe where he was. We didn't know they had a shelter for him. He would never go in it because he was too skittish. And he came and jumped in Diane's lap. I mean, just straight on jumped in her lap. And she said, well, hello. And she's just petting him like this. And the guy beside me said, is that your dog? I said, I've never seen this dog before in my life. He said, nobody else can touch that dog. And I touched him, and I swear, Shelley, he gave me this. He gave me the side eye. He kind of looked at me like, what are you doing? But Diane, he was just all over Diane. And every time since then, he's just all over Diane. I joke that he picked Diane, but I came with the package. So it wasn't exactly his plan, if you know what I mean.
They're smart. They're
They
intuitive.
they are. So if somebody wants to adopt a dog, and we'll have the information here below, the phone numbers and everything, they come by, they visit with you and look at the pets. What do they do? How do they do this?
Yes. I always say if you're looking for a pet, go ahead and get your application in. That puts you a step ahead of the game. Get that application in. We don't do anything with the information except put people and dogs together. So get that done. And then you're ready to find your dog. Put your application in. You can call me, tell me what you're looking for. I do print those and keep them. And when a dog comes along, oftentimes it never hits the internet because I've already got somebody waiting on that kind of dog.
Really?
So that's the best thing. We do have dogs in our shelter, but we do have many in foster homes as well.
So let me get this straight. So, and not obviously not the ones in foster, but we could come to the Animal Welfare Center between 12 and 3, Monday through Saturday, and basically find a sweet little pup. And okay, let's see how this works. Let's walk them around. Let's see how it goes. And there's a little walking area, a little park type deal, and kind of get a feel for it, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. I also hear that apparently a girl's got to howl is what I hear tell. Is that
Coming
correct?
up. Coming up on September 25th. This year we're trying something new. Last year it sold out, the event sold out in 6 hours.
Wow.
So we decided to try 2 events in one day, and we'll see how that goes.
So it's girls gotta howl. There we go. Oh
yes,
my goodness.
There it is.
Okay,
so it's a lot of fun.
So hang on, let me set this straight. So the line dancers from the Spa City Tappers and Entertainment that will be there, and the Chippendales. Now,
yes,
Shelley, I wouldn't have thought you that kind of girl. What is this?
Well, actually, the Chippendales, I don't want to give anything away. The Chippendales are men.
No.
Men dancers.
But
yes.
they're cheap?
Well, sometimes that is the case.
So this event, you said last year sold out in 6 hours, my Lord. So now there's 2 different showings of it. This will be Monday, September 25th, coming up pretty soon here. The first seating is 11:30 to 2:30, and second seating from 5 to 8, and catered by Melinda's, our good friends, Alan and Alana and Daniel. Yeah. So, wow. Free flowing wine fountain, auction, raffle, drawing. This sounds like a lot of fun.
It is truly a lot of fun. Tickets are $35, and there are still some tickets available for the matinee. I believe the evening is sold out.
Wow.
So they are purchased online through the POA. That's how we sell our tickets.
HSV ticket sales.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and one more thing, if I can, I can't encourage people strongly enough. If this is of interest to you at all, come to the building, walk in the front door, look around, see the dozens of kitties, see the puppies, see the building, see partly what the POA money does, and then you can see what the Animal Welfare League raises their own money to do. If you want to bring a bag of treats, if you want to bring a bag of food, y'all would readily accept that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you had mentioned something earlier about you do have lots of food sometimes. You sometimes have excess food, and there's other people that are having trouble feeding their pets. Tell me more about that.
We have a lot of community outreach programs. We get calls from people that are just having a hard time and have trouble feeding their pets. So we keep lots of dog and cat food that we do share with people in the community that need help.
Wow.
So we use what we can at our shelter, but we don't always need it all, or we get things that we don't use at the shelter. So we share those with the community if someone gives us a call.
So you're telling me if somebody is having trouble paying to provide for their pet,
yes,
the Animal Welfare League would be happy to help provide food for them.
We can certainly do that. Yes.
Wow. Shelley, there's so many pieces: the silver sneakers, the gala event, you sleep sometime where?
I try to sleep a little bit
in between puppies.
It's a busy rescue is just a really busy. It's busy. All rescues.
Well,
you know, we're
I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
it's just we're busy just with the constant influx of animals that never seem to get to slow down. You know, it's just constant. And it's worse this year, I think, than ever with
Really?
strays. Yeah.
With strays. Well, I tell you what, if you would, I'd love to have you back simply because I know this is a multi-layered thing. I'd love to know how you got involved in this, why you wanted to do this. But if I'm not mistaken, the clock's ticking because you got to go to an adoption, if I'm not mistaken.
I do. Just a
Well,
bit. Yeah.
well, congratulations and thank you, Shelley, for joining us for Animal Welfare League for Hot Springs Village Inside Out. I'm Dennis Simpson. She's Shelley.
Great.
We'll talk
Great
next
to be
time.
here.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, Shelley.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.